Welcome to American Restored, the channel where we bring forgotten history back to life. There was a time when traveling by train wasn't just about reaching a destination. It was about the journey itself. The sound of a steam whistle, the rhythm of wheels on steel, and the gentle sway of the carriage created memories that generations once cherished. Today, we'll step back in time and rediscover 15 forgotten train travel experiences you'll never see again. 1. Steam giants. The massive steam locomotives were once the beating heart of the railways. Their towering engines, billowing smoke, and thundering wheels could be heard long before they arrived. For passengers, the sight of a steam giant pulling into the station wasn't just transportation. It was raw power and progress on display. Today, they survive only in museums and heritage lines, but for those who lived through it, nothing compares to their magic. 2. Dining cars. Train dining cars offered more than just meals. They provided elegance on the move. White tablecloths, polished silverware, and the aroma of fresh coffee made dinner feel like a five-star restaurant. Families gathered at tables. Strangers became friends, and the sound of laughter mixed with the steady click-clack of the tracks. It was dining with a view, and a ritual modern travel has left behind. 3. Sleeper berths. Pulling down a sleeper berth at night was an adventure on its own. Children pressed their faces against the glass before bed, watching the stars above the fields. Parents tucked them in as the train rocked gently, like a cradle. Waking up in a new city the next morning felt like magic. Airplanes might be faster, but they can never replace the cozy mystery of sleeping on a moving train. 4. Porter service. The uniformed porters were once symbols of care and professionalism. They carried luggage, prepared beds, polished shoes, and even offered kind smiles that made passengers feel welcome. For many travelers, the porter was the face of the railway, turning a long journey into an experience of comfort. Their service was hospitality on rails, something travelers rarely experience today. 5. Observation cars. At the back of many trains sat the crown jewel, the observation car. Wide windows and open platforms gave passengers the perfect view of mountains, rivers, and sunsets rolling by. Families gathered there to marvel at the landscape, cameras clicking and voices filled with awe. It wasn't just a ride. It was nature's cinema on steel wheels. 6. Station clocks. Before smartphones, the giant station clock ruled time. Travelers craned their necks to check it, watching the big hands tick closer to departure. The moment it struck, the conductor's whistle blew, and trains roared to life. These clocks weren't just practical. They were symbols of order and anticipation, anchoring every journey. 7. Mail trains. Trains once carried more than passengers. They carried the nation's heartbeat in letters and parcels. Mail clerks sorted envelopes inside moving cars, tossing bags at stations without the train even stopping. For small towns, the mail train was connection, hope, and news delivered at high speed. Today, it's a chapter of history lost to highways and airplanes. 8. Ticket punches. The crisp sound of a ticket punch was part of every journey. Conductors clipped small holes into stiff paper tickets, leaving tiny marks that passengers often kept as souvenirs. Each punch was proof you belonged there, a memory stamped in cardboard. Today's QR codes and scanners lack that same personal touch. 9. Waiting rooms. Old railway stations were more than platforms. They were social spaces. Wooden benches, pot-bellied stoves, and the smell of coal dust filled the waiting rooms. Families sat together with suitcases at their feet, children napping on parents' laps, all waiting for the sound of the train whistle. It was anticipation and community wrapped into one. 10. Whistle echoes. Few sounds were as haunting as the train whistle at night. It echoed across valleys, farms, and small towns, signaling journeys beginning and endings near. For many, that long, low call was comfort, a reminder that life was moving, even in the quiet hours. It was music of the rails, now silenced by modern speed. 11. Caboose life. At the very end of long freight, trains rode the caboose, a tiny moving home for conductors and crew. Inside, they shared meals, wrote reports, and watched the world pass by from their back windows. For children waving at the red caboose from crossings, it was the most magical part of the train. Today, cabooses are gone, but the memories linger. 12. Station masters. The station master in his crisp uniform and pocket watch once commanded respect. He blew the whistle, waved the flag, and kept the trains running smoothly. For passengers, he was authority, order, and sometimes even a friend who knew every traveler by name. Without him, stations today feel far less personal. 13. Baggage carts. Wooden carts piled with trunks, boxes, and suitcases were once a common sight on platforms. Porters heaved the luggage onto trains while children marveled at the mountains of belongings. Those carts weren't just practical. They were part of the theater of departure, symbolizing journeys full of hope and stories waiting to be written. 14. Train announcers. The booming voice of a train announcer filled the station with energy. All aboard wasn't just a call. It was the start of an adventure. Families hurried, lovers hugged goodbye, and excitement surged with every announcement. That human voice gave emotion to the journey, a sound now replaced by sterile speakers and screens. 15. Farewell platforms. Perhaps the most emotional part of train travel was the platform goodbye. Lovers held hands until the last second, parents waved as their children left, and friends shouted promises through the noise of the departing train. Platforms weren't just concrete. They were stages for joy, sorrow, and unforgettable memories. Final thoughts. From the thunder of steam giants to the tearful waves on farewell platforms, these 15 experiences remind us that train travel was once more than transportation. It was life itself, filled with meaning, memory, and magic. Today's world moves fast, but the spirit of those journeys still lingers in museums, old photographs, and the stories we pass down. Which of these memories touched your heart? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this nostalgic journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to American Restored, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another trip into the past.